So I brought a piece of birch out to the shop today, and I thought today I would, being a Saturday and a weekend and all, I thought I would take today to make a toy for my grandchild. And this birch is a pretty nice piece of wood. I made a spoon out of it the other day and it turned out really nice. So I thought maybe I would go ahead and get this debarked and cleaned up, put it on the lathe, and then we'll start on the project. Okay, so we've got a pretty good knot right here, a small one there and a small one here. And we're going to need a pretty good length of this because this toy that we're going to make is going to be two pieces. So I've got to think about that before I put this on the lathe, because I'm going to try to make both pieces out of the one. I don't know how deep this knot runs, but I think I can knock most of that off on the lathe with the gouge. So I think I'm going to get this thing squared up on the ends, get it in the lathe, and then we'll see what it looks like as we start to turn it down, and then we'll talk more about what we're making. Okay, so we've got about a 3-inch piece of this birch in the lathe here, and try to get it rounded up first, get it running halfway true. Okay, so we moved our rope over a little bit now. We've got this one spot where we got a knot right here. And we really need at least this much of it and then this much of it for what we're doing. I know I haven't told you what we're doing yet because I'm kind of leaving it for a surprise. But I'm going to try to get this trued up a little bit right here, get this thing running in a cylinder, and then we'll start actually working the project. Alright, so we still got a flat side, but we're running true now and round, and we're not hitting anything. So now we can really kind of start to true this thing up a little bit. I'm not getting in a big hurry with this. I'm going slow. Trying to get everything dimensionally the same for the most part. I've already got one side that's a little smaller, and that's okay because I need one side a little smaller for the project anyway. Okay, so I've started to turn down the middle of this a little bit. Let's talk about the plan. What we're doing is we're going to make a spinning top with a spinner. Kind of hard to explain, but we need to turn this down, and this will become our spinner portion, which will have 2 holes bored through it with an auger. We'll talk about that later. This end is going to be our top that's going to be inserted in one of the holes, and then a string will be pulled through the other hole to spin the top, and you'll hold on to the handle while you do it. Kind of complicated, but you'll see as we go. So now we need to turn this handle down and make this our handle, basically, and where our top's going to be mounted into, and then this will become our top. So we're going to try to make everything out of one piece of wood. This is all an experiment for me too, but this thing's working like a dream. Those shavings are beautiful coming off of that thing. One thing I found out here is, you know, if you move your string to a small diameter area like this, sometimes you got to bring your foot pedal up and take a couple of wraps around your foot pedal extra just to kind of shorten up the distance between your lathe bed and your treadle so that you can get good revolutions off that thing and still get good spring action off of your engine. You know, the cool thing about a project like this is that it teaches you all the little things that you've got to figure out to do other projects. It's almost like Sloyd. You know, you do small projects with a knife to get where you need to get, and then you work on bigger things. And this is a lot like that, because just little tight areas like this, the front end of this top, it's so easy to gouge it out with the chisel just by getting the wrong angle in there. Trying to get it smooth is something else. I'm taking chunks out of it left and right trying to get it smooth. It's funny how something as simple as this little front end of this top can give you such fits when you're trying to figure out your tool angle and how to get that wood off of there. Those guys over in the UK, those bodgers, would be laughing at me right now, saying, "What is wrong with you?" And that's okay. That's how I learn, by making mistakes. Well, I think I figured it out. I think I was just attacking this thing from the wrong direction. I should have been coming in this direction at it, probably. All stuff you learn as you go. Okay, so now I'm really just trying to reduce this taper a little bit at a time. Taking my time with it. And this is going to be the body of my top, and then the top end will be up here that gets spun. So I'm really just trying to take my time with this project and not be in a hurry at all. I've got the front end of the top itself just the way I want it right now. I've got the area that's going to spin the top, or the handle spinner is what I'm calling it. I don't know what the proper name for it is. I've got it about the shape I want it. Now I need to make the handle a little bit longer here. And the top doesn't need to be very wide before it goes into the stem of the top. And that needs to be long enough to go through this all the way. So I've got to be cognizant of all my lengths as I do this, because I can't afford to be any shorter in any direction right now. At the edge of this thing. Gotta get him knocked out of there if I can. Okay, so just to kind of explain where we're at here. This piece has to be turned down to a small enough diameter that it goes through a mortise hole here like a tenon, but it's going to be a loose tenon because we're going to have another hole drilled through there that a string will pull through to spin the top. So this diameter is a concern because the length of this shaft of this top has to be at least that long. So we've got plenty of room to make it that long, no doubt. We've got plenty of length to work with there. And whatever we don't use, we can cut off our handle on this. That's how I'm making this out of one piece. So this top stem has to be turned down, but I can't lose any of my length here because I need it for this, okay? Hope you guys understand what I'm saying there.